Coming up tonight, a man shot dead in Exuma and an off-duty cop is assisting police with their investigation. Meanwhile, a convicted cop killer dies suddenly behind bars with troubling symptoms. And mothers open up on the difficulties of pregnancy and losing a child.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, an overnight shooting in Exuma has left a father of one dead and a police officer relieved of his duties. Now the family of the victim is speaking out as his mother revealed that she found out her son was fatally shot after she saw the viral video of the aftermath of the deadly encounter. Jasmine Brown reports.
Bag of weed. Look at this man shot on the street. Mike sent this to BNN. A bag of weed. A bag of weed.
It was this video that started the nightmare for the family of 39-year-old Jarvis Burrows. The Exuma resident was fatally shot by an officer on Wednesday night. The video footage captured shortly after the shooting shows a bleeding Jarvis laying on the street as onlookers desperately pleaded for the officer to take him to the hospital. As the officer held onto the gun, he was seen pulling a small plastic bag reportedly containing marijuana from the man's hand. In a statement released on Thursday morning, police said Jarvis died at the airport 2 hours later while waiting to be airlifted to New Providence for medical treatment. The morning after her son's death, his mother spoke out, saying her son did not deserve to die the way he did.
Very hurt. Very, very hurt.
A heartbroken Collins said she first learned that her eldest son had been shot through social media and confirmed it when a friend answered his cell phone.
And I even break down. Break right down. I understand I break down, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I was just walking up and down, and just didn't want myself to believe this was really true.
Collins said Jarvis left New Providence and moved to Exuma 2 years ago in an effort to get his life back on track. She says despite his issues, he tried his best to provide for his 2-year-old son. Collins, who admitted that her son sells a little weed, says Jarvis was hanging out with friends before he was shot.
Even if he was selling his weed, I didn't even shoot him. I don't think it should take place. I still love my son no matter what. He's my child, and I love him. But God is going to deal with everything, and even in God's heart. And as a single father, he tried. He tried. Because no matter what he has, he'll come and he'll try to give it to the little boy. Give it for the little boy.
As the family grieves, they say they also want answers. Police said the officer has been relieved of his duties and is assisting with the investigation. Meantime, Exuma's and Ragged Island MP Chester Cooper said in a statement that the shooting was a sad and troubling turn of events. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, the Ministry of Health is confirming 38 new cases of COVID-19 today. 30 of those cases were on New Providence, 4 on Grand Bahama, 3 on Bimini, and 1 on Exuma. There are currently 86 hospitalized cases. 74 of those hospitalized cases are moderately ill, while 12 cases are in the ICU. Health officials also confirmed 2 more deaths, including a 35-year-old man and an 82-year-old man, both from New Providence. Health officials also confirmed 75 more recoveries. Meanwhile, convicted cop killer Andrew Yogi Davis died behind bars, according to prison officials and his lawyer. His distraught family members say he was ill for several days and wasn't allowed to get his special diet while behind bars.
But when he started to tell me that he was having chills and the fever came back and the way he was talking to me, I said, Yogi, you sure you good?
Convicted murderer Andrew Yogi Davis died at the Bahamas Department of Corrections on Wednesday evening, according to his lawyer Bjorn Ferguson. Family members say Davis was ill for several days and was displaying troubling symptoms. In an audio message recorded hours before his death, Davis describes his deteriorating condition.
Yeah, I know what's going on with me. I trembling, and I getting weak, and I getting the fever again. I know I have to go back in medical tonight. So, if you want to hear from me, I go on a medical, but serious, I can't even breathe, but
He say, boy, Chrissy, I ain't gonna lie, this one rough. And I say, okay, you have to pray. He just said, I can call you back, and he hang up.
Later that night, Davis's stepdaughter, 30-year-old Christian Cunningham, says she got word that he died. She says he had lost his sense of smell and she suspects that he had COVID-19. Commissioner of Corrections Charles Murphy also confirmed Davis's death to Our News.
It was like our everything, right? He was always there for us.
Davis was convicted of murder in 2013, along with Stephen Dye Stubbs, for the 1999 shooting death of police officer Jimmy Ambrose. His stepdaughter says he was housed in a dormitory with several other inmates. His family say he required a special diet, but since the start of the pandemic, they haven't been allowed to bring him food. They say that was unfair.
We wrote letters to the commissioner up there. We wrote letters to Marvin Dean. Like, we wrote letters to everybody asking for these stuff, for him to get these things, and he just was denied. And he told us that the stuff that they would feed him up there, like, he can't eat it because it isn't what he's supposed to be eating.
Our News reached out to Commissioner Murphy for a response to the family's claim, but so far, no response. Meanwhile, Davis had an appeal pending before the Privy Council. While his stepdaughter insists that he was indifferent about his imprisonment, she admits that he was hoping for a successful appeal.
Nothing really fazed him. He is always in high spirits. He never really let nothing get him down. Like, I've never seen him depressed. He was always happy. He wanted to get out. He always said, see me when I come out of here. I can make sure you're straight. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. We live it, we go it, like, I can be straight because I ain't here for something I know I ain't do. I coming out of this.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis called suggestions for free COVID-19 testing fantasy and blasted the opposition for making the suggestion. Minnis was asked by a reporter at a press conference on Wednesday whether residents who can't afford COVID-19 tests would be given them free of charge.
I know you've heard that statement coming from the leader of the opposition. PLP lives in an Alice in Wonderland of fantasies. They must stop using politics and one day face realities. We would do whatever is necessary to ensure the safety and survival of our fellow citizens.
Opposition leader Philip Davis hit back in a statement saying only this Prime Minister would respond to a reporter's question about free COVID testing with insults and partisan politics. Many countries offer free testing to their citizens, Davis's statement continued, including Turks and Caicos. A successful COVID policy requires a government dedicated to finding and isolating the virus through expanded testing. Instead, Davis says the weak testing policy means too many cases go undiagnosed and he can only slow transmission by locking Bahamians up nights and weekends, hurting families and local businesses. Ministers also asked to respond to criticism that the competent authority is operating under a dictatorship.
As Prime Minister, I'm chairman of Cabinet. We discuss matters, and there are some matters that I would appear as the voice of Cabinet. The competent authority is the voice of Cabinet. Yesterday, we would have had extensive, long Cabinet meeting, after which we would have met with the health officials. They would have advised us as to the way forward, after which Cabinet, we would have come to a conclusion. And I am only representing the conclusion came to by Cabinet. So the competent authority is only the voice of Cabinet.
The Senate building will be repaired to facilitate an office for the Speaker of the House of Assembly. This comes after a declaration by House Speaker Halson Moultrie that he will be turning in the keys to the current office by the 31st of October due to a leaking roof, no kitchen, and shared restroom facilities.
The Speaker's office is in a private building that is rented by the government for the Speaker. There are some plans to effect repairs to the Senate building, and the Speaker has indicated that if those repairs are effective, he can move into that facility. But the reality is we are many years behind in where we should be in providing adequate facilities for the Speaker.
According to Works Minister Desmond Bannister, they have been at the mercy of the building's landlords and will not carry out renovations on a private building. According to Bannister, the repairs will be underway as soon as school repairs are completed.
throughout this country, you see contractors now working on school repairs, and the officers of the Ministry of Works are supervising those works. That is an absolutely critical thing to do. And at the same time, we have all our normal projects going on. So as soon as we are able to have the ability to have a few officers who are free, who have an ability to focus on something else, we're going to do that because it's important for the Speaker to have dignity in his office.
It's time now for your first look at weather with meteorologist Greg Thompson. Good night, Greg.
Thanks, Jared. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your first look at weather, brought to you tonight by Lucerna. Current conditions outside our studios, very nice evening setting up. Temperatures in the low 80s, 83 degrees is our current temperature, with just a few clouds on the outside. Winds out of the southeast at 5 knots, feels like temperature around 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Satellite-wise, high pressure ridge continues to dominate our weather with just very nice weather across the area. Just some patchy clouds moving across the islands. We expect the frontal boundary to get near sometime by the weekend. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News. The finance minister says recent bank closures are strictly business. And Labour director supports a marijuana industry. Stay with us.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
With Scotiabank announcing plans to close several of its Family Island locations, the government has been pressed to intervene in the matter. However, the finance minister said the move is strictly business. George O'Bain reports.
Deputy Leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, Chester Cooper, has called on the government to convince Scotiabank to delay or cancel the move to close several branches in the coming months. Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest said the government has spoken with Scotiabank officials who have indicated that they are moving towards a digital platform and no longer need to have a physical presence on those islands. Turnquest said that he was informed that it is strictly a business decision and that banks on those islands are currently operating at a loss.
Banks are not in the business of maintaining deposits. So they don't exist to hold your money. They exist to take your money and to lend it out to other people for which they are in interest, and they pay you interest. In the Family Islands, traditionally, Bahamians don't take loans in any significant quantity or level. They normally build out of their pockets. And so the level of loan activities in these locations, thus, the profitability in these locations is minimal or is at a loss.
In a statement released on Tuesday, Scotiabank announced plans to close branches on Abaco, Andros, Exuma, Long Island, and Paradise Island. The branches will be closed over a 4-month span, and employees will be redistributed. Turnquest said that he is aware that this move will leave some islands without banking facilities, but assured that the government is working to find the next best solution to the issue.
We recognize that that is a challenge, and we're trying to develop alternative solutions that we might be able to deploy to be able to fill the gap. Whether that is the online money transfer businesses, whether that is credit unions, or whether that is a more aggressive rollout of the central bank's sand dollar, which, quite frankly, my personal belief is, in fact, the probable answer. Because if we can take transactions to the digital environment, then there's really no need for a physical bank because there's no cash.
Turnquest said the government has considered recommendations to add Bank of the Bahamas locations to those islands. However, he said the move would not be tenable.
Trying to get Bank of the Bahamas to move into these locations would be asking them to accept losses. And as we all know, Bank of the Bahamas itself is not in the position to accept any further losses, certainly no planned losses, not without direct subvention from the government. And we're trying to move away from direct subventions of state-owned enterprises and other entities And so for us to enter into an arrangement where we are subsidizing the Bank of the Bahamas' operations in all of these islands, it's just something that's not tenable.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
From helping to decrease crime to providing entrepreneurial opportunities for Bahamians, Acting Labor Director John Pinder said legalizing marijuana would be a good move for the country. Jillian Gray has that.
With job security scarce, Acting Labor Director John Pinder said he is in favor of legalizing marijuana in order to make it a viable industry for Bahamians.
Who are in this business in the United States and Canada, I think California and a couple other places, and they talk about how profitable. I think I heard somebody talk yesterday about places who farm marijuana make between $200,000 and $3,000 a year as a salary, $200,000 to $300,000 a year.
As part of its plan to bolster the Bahamas' economy, the Economic Recovery Committee suggested legalizing the drug for medicinal, religious, and recreational purposes. As there are Bahamians already in the industry around the world, Pinder said he is for the move and believes it should be those people who are given first preference to the industry in the Bahamas.
This industry should not be stolen by rich people now who have land waiting to do it. This industry should not be stolen by them. Just how we allow the numbers fellas when we regulate the numbers to control the number industry, I think the Rastafarians and the guys who know how to grow this thing, they ought to be given first shot at this.
The Christian Council has slammed the suggestion to legalize the drug, citing social challenges and stating marijuana is not the solution to the country's woes. But Pinder said they've got the wrong idea about the drug.
The biggest fear, especially coming from the Christian community, is that we get this thing in our psyche that the Rastafarian guys or some bad guys, the naughty dreads, use marijuana to commit certain crimes, to get high, and they become violent. This is not the case in all areas.
Any fear about the social challenges marijuana could bring can be solved if proper regulations are in place, according to Pinder, who said along with regulations for farmers, guidelines like a clean police record, a psychiatric report, and an age limit of 21 can be used for those who want to consume the drug.
You get that permit every year or every 6 months, maybe in the first instance. So when you're going to use that, when it expires now, before you could purchase marijuana again, we cause you to bring us back another psychiatric report, another police report that's saying you still have a clean police record, you didn't act violent as a result of smoking marijuana, and that sort of thing.
Pinder said legalizing marijuana could also help reduce murder in the country, as he says gangs in the drug industry kill to protect their turf, but that will fall away when the drug can be bought legally.
If you talk about drugstores are now selling this thing, but you go to any drugstore. So there's no more turf to be protected.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
When Our News comes back from the break, mothers open up on the difficulties of pregnancy and losing a child. Stay with us.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
Welcome back. Thousands of women around the world experience pregnancy loss or infant death each year. It is often discussed behind closed doors and with hushed voices, but local advocates are seeking to change that. Christina Dragovich has their story tonight in this first edition of In This Together.
No mother imagines the moment she will lose the child she's carrying. It's a struggle that many women endure silently. Joranda Brennan recalls her daughter's first and last moments all too clearly.
I labored for quite a few hours, and it was really long, and it was a lot. I was very exhausted, but of course, I wanted to spend some time with her.
Brennan says she was fortunate enough to have been able to spend time with her stillborn daughter, Janae Jolie, before she had to be taken away. but she knows that was a privilege.
You should have the opportunity to at least hold your baby if you're able to and spend some time, because basically that's goodbye.
But it doesn't have to be.
It was, and it still is, a taboo. Like, I didn't have any support. I didn't even know what this, I didn't hear about this before I went through it. So that's why I became the support.
According to the United States Centers for Disease Control, about 24,000 babies are stillborn in the U.S. each year. Following her heartbreaking experience, Brennan says she began connecting with angel moms, other moms who have lost their babies due to stillbirth, miscarriage, sudden infant death syndrome, or other causes.
We're still moms if we have a baby that you can see or a baby that you can't see. So that's
October is recognized for infant and pregnancy loss awareness, a mission Brennan has personally taken on to support mothers and families who are still hurting and healing.
Be an heir. If you know an angel mom, if you know someone that's going through it, be there for them. Listen to them and help them and encourage them to keep their baby memory alive.
She says that's just one step toward a solution.
So when it comes to pregnancy loss and infant loss, as someone who has worked with the healthcare system, do you think there are enough resources or support for women who may be experiencing that?
Definitely not. I don't think we have enough support for women who experience losses.
That's Anna Forbes, a registered nurse and midwife who has been practicing for more than 20 years. She gives Our News insight on the Bahamian healthcare system as mothers and families cope with loss. Visit our Facebook page for an extended chat with Brennan and Forbes. We're in this together. Reporting for Our News, I'm Christina Dragovich.
Thanks, Christina. Well, we're really in this together. Meanwhile, it's week 8 for the NFL. That's coming up when Our News returns.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
Week 8 of the NFL season kicks off tonight with a Thursday night feature. Marcellus Hall brings us up to speed.
Well, it's once again Thursday, which means the NFL starts off another week of activities. Thursday night football coming your way tonight with the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Carolina Panthers, neither one having a great season, but looking to perhaps turn it around with a victory tonight. Let's take a look and see what's ahead. Another night of exciting NFL action set to kick off tonight with Thursday night football. This evening contest featuring the 1-6 Atlanta Falcons on the road against the 3-4 Carolina Panthers. Falcon QB Matt Ryan, 12 touchdowns and 3 picks on the season, while throwing for 2,181 yards. Teddy Bridgewater, under center for the Panthers, he has 8 touchdowns against 5 picks, while throwing for 1,930 yards. Both teams evenly matched offensively, Falcons averaging 26 points a game against the Panthers, who are averaging 23 per contest. Carolina will be without star running back Christian McCaffrey again. He's still out with a high ankle sprain. Despite his absence, the Panthers are favored to win by 2.5 points. Falcons, meanwhile, have not made a decision on whether or not top wide receiver Julio Jones will play this evening. He has a hip injury. So we'll give you full details on that coming up for you tomorrow. And also a reminder to check out another edition of The Locker Room, our critically acclaimed sports show that comes your way on Friday evenings at 6:30 right here on RTV, featuring myself and Tommy Stubbs. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marcellus Hall.
Next up is your extended weather forecast. What's up, Greg?
Thanks again, Jared. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your second look at weather, brought to you tonight by Grand Bahama Power Company. Across the area, high pressure remains in charge of the weather across the Bahamas, dry air mass in place. We are watching a frontal boundary across northern Florida that is expected to get here by the weekend, and then a more significant one just behind that should get here by early next week. Your boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. The winds will be out of the southeast to south, 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet with some lingering swells out there. While in the central and southeast Bahamas, your winds will be east to southeast, 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4. High tide will occur at 7:23 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Tuesday. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe night, everyone.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by Royal Fidelity, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. To catch Our News on the go, download the RevGo Play app. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jared Higgs. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.